Good evening and welcome to episode 25 of the Huddy Hui. And we're fresh off Queen's birthday weekend, and there are a number of Jubilee celebrations, not only just here in Wellington, but around the country. Dunedin celebrated 150 years. Wainuiomata, who our guest is from tonight, celebrated 75 years. But last weekend, Adam, we had a fantastic weekend out at Eastbourne Rugby Club for their 100th anniversary.
It was a very special weekend at Eastbourne, and we'd like to thank the club for inviting us along to broadcast their centenary match, which they had a spectacular 47-3 win against Huddy Hui Marist. They win the first round JC Bowl under 85 kilo championship, and they're looking good to possibly do better than their semi-final appearance at the Nationals last year. Remember, the 85 kilo division is now a national competition as well. That's separate to the Wellington tourney. Clubs get together and play off in an FA Cup style format. Eastbourne, a spectacular club with a lot of personalities, and there's a reason why we've changed the composition of the studio. I was once told by Phil Leishman before he died, the best way to look thin when you're fat in front of a camera is to have a slight angled desk, and that's why we are angled tonight, because of the indulgence at HW Short Park.
Well, more Adam, but it was a fantastic weekend. They had a great museum there. They had a lot of merchandise, hat included, and a fantastic history book here of their handout. But let's get underway with our guest tonight. He's played 154 games for his beloved Wainuiomata Rugby Club. He brought his 150th up against Huddy Hui Marist only a few weeks ago in a close loss, 28 points to 30. Teru Time, thank you for coming on the Huddy Hui tonight. Tell us about your 150th game and how special was that day?
Oh, no, first of all, Adam, Brad, thank you very much for having me on the show tonight. It's a pleasure to be here. And obviously, I want to extend my congratulations as well to Eastbourne for celebrating their centenary tonight on the weekend. So that's a massive achievement for our club. So send out my congratulations to everyone that were involved, and I hope they shouted you guys enough beers. Yeah, thanks for bringing that 150 milestone back 4 weeks ago. I guess the occasion itself was incredible. I tried to sort of enjoy the moment, being just the whole vibe around the club and the vibe through the whole week, and so I was just sort of trying to absorb it all in and take it in a way, in a positive way. Obviously, it was a very tough match. And not something I remember because I actually got sent-binned yellow card on that game, which is not good. Sometimes I get too hungry to try to force an error or somewhere, and it doesn't go my way. So obviously, whose dog is that, mate? Sort it out.
It's the referee in the background.
Referee gave me the card.
I'm trying to have a chat here, and you guys just ruined my moment.
Well, we've just been hijacked here, so it's just the dog. Eddie, come here. I'll settle down.
But it was an enjoyable event, enjoyable milestone for myself, and obviously for my family. I've been involved with the club for over 12 years now, and obviously my family has history with the club. And I'm a very proud Wainui man, and so to be able to play 150 games for Wainui, it's a huge honor for me, even just one game itself. But I'm very proud. I hope I can inspire someone. I've always said, and I said it as well in the at Aquila's 150th game. If I can inspire some young clubmen that to be able to reach their milestone to play 150 games for their club. And I guess my job is done. So that's one of the key things I really want. And I really want the young people to be able to represent their club the best they can. So that's one of the main key I sort of trying to push out.
Take us back to 2011, 154 games later for Wainuiomata. Incredible achievement, because you were very close to losing your life in the Christchurch earthquake. It was a very dramatic day for a lot of people, you included.
Yeah, definitely. Back in 2011, 22nd of February, there's still sort of vivid memories that I had from that day. Obviously, I was very lucky to still be here. I could be in a different story, as you said, Adam. And just out for lunch with the family. I was meant to go to the gym on that day. but just somehow I managed to went out with the family for lunch, and was on my way. We actually drove back to drop me off to work back in the BNZ building in the sort of the central Christchurch, and sort of hit right then and there while we're in the car looking at the cathedral. So, saw that whole cathedral come down, and sort of didn't really realize what was going on, and sort of it was surreal, to be honest. And I'm very glad that I'm able to escape. And I guess that was another reason why I moved back home. I remember running back up to the building because I actually forgot my keys for my house up at the building that we were at the time, and I ran back up and to get the keys and my gym bag. And when I got home, I could just walk right through the door because the house was sort of on the lean. So it's a very terrible time, but that actually allowed me to come back home, to come back here in Wainui, and that time I was actually waiting for surgery on my knee for my ACL. And it was just sort of happened. I was just still training with the boys, and obviously they were down a wing at that time, and I was training really well, and I guess my knee was holding up. And I think it was Earl at the time managed to pick me to a debut for the Nui, and that was a proud moment itself as well. I think that was against Tower, so was a good opportunity to come back home, and in a way it's sort of helped me to now to lead me back here, and now I've been here ever since. But I send my love out still to my Christchurch family and my Christchurch club back there in high school, All Boys. That was playing there for 2 or 3 years. They were very good. They were very good to me as well down while I was there. So,
what was the biggest challenge of resettling in Wainuiomata?
I don't think there was really much challenge for me. I felt like I never left, to be honest. Having mum and dad here was a lot more supportive, and my family here was sort of huge support for me, because down there I had no one really. And sort of that kind of, and all my friends were still here. So coming back, it just felt like I never left this community, and sort of just picked up where I was. And so, I'm very grateful to be able to come back, and and I guess sort of been here as well, and now I've sort of run my own business here and very servicing the local area in Wainui, and it's an opportunity to do some great things for our community.
So in the weekend just been, Wainuiomata brought up 75 years as a club, and there were many great celebrations out there, and a massive win over Poriki in the weekend. Tell us about the anniversary, the 75th anniversary, and what the club did to celebrate.
A lot. I want to say also thank you to the committee of our club in Wainui, Kim and Mo and the rest of your team that organised that. It was a massive event for us, man. I mean, they've done an incredible job for the whole weekend. So we started off with a golf day, which we played with on Friday. That was a great event. And then meet and greet on Friday. We had the whole Saturday with a lot of people coming through, and then obviously the game. And on Saturday, it was, I've never seen the club rooms be like that on Saturday. So it was over, I think I estimate about 300 odd people were still there partying up till 12 or 1 in the morning in the Nui. So a massive event for us, a huge milestone for the club. And it was really good just to see some of the old faces that I haven't seen in a long time. People that I've sort of watched growing up as a young fellow, people playing for Wainui, and then also seeing some people that I've never obviously seen before, but obviously had done a lot for the club back in the 80s and the 60s. So it was sort of inspiring here, that story. And to be part of a club that I'm very proud of and be part of their history, for me, it's inspiring. And I hope I can contribute a lot more in the many years to come to the club, and hope that we can have that platform for young kids or girls and kids and men and women to be able to come and express themselves, especially in a game that we love, and making a long-lived memories for friends along the way.
Share one of those stories from the weekend, Teru. There's a lot of hard cases out at Wainuiomata, and surely you have something that's PG.
I don't know what you heard, Adam, but we're quite a quiet punch here in Wainui, mate. We don't sort of. But no, it was a great event. I mean, Saturday night was awesome with the band that was playing, and things are going on. I think it was a pretty funny night, and obviously I'm quite disappointed actually that that you guys got J Love or Jason Love on this show before me. So I'm quite disgusted about that, boys. But I do want to say J Love came up to me. I didn't even ask him, but this is quite funny. He said to me, I scored 4 tries today. I need a bit of a challenge. And he was playing for senior first. And I said to Jay, did I ask? You know, that's sort of the guy, person he is, J Love. I love him to bits. He's an incredible person, but very funny sense of humor. And so we really, sort of some of the things that we sort of have a very, you know, joking about his personality. So I really enjoy being around J Love and so the stories that he tells, and most of the boys do. Yeah, but thanks for having me anyways, guys. Should have got me here before J Love.
Yeah. There was a story back here from 2012 when you thrashed Batoni that day, 50 points to 20 in round 3. And you were part of an infamous group called the Quad Squad. Could you tell us about that?
No. Quad Crew. The
Quad Crew.
The Quad Crew, the QC boys. It's what we use. Our short name. And so these are the boys that I really grew up with back in intermediate and college together. And sort of we really built. We went to church together as well. We've been friends for a very long time. So these boys, obviously with Federica Sange, guys like Tau Mamea and obviously Ngese Genesis Mamea, where we sort of live like sort of almost in a similar area, same street in Wainui, and sort of we would always go down to Mary Carver Park and do our own training and, you know, kicking the ball around, playing 2-on-2. And sort of, so we all grew up together. Some of the funny things is probably, hopefully it's probably on the internet somewhere, but we used to do these funny videos in terms of songs that we sort of video ourselves to. It's almost like TikTok, what's happening now. So we used to do a lot of these videos that we do, and quite embarrassing actually. But yeah, so it's just really the four boys grew up in Wainui that you know, love playing rugby, love being around each other, and really build our friendship. So obviously with Tau now in Christchurch, with his lovely wife Emma and Ngese and Nissa over in France, they just enjoyed the winning their final on the weekend. So congratulations to you so as well. Well done to that. And obviously it's found there. And my mate Federica's over in Sydney. So we're all sort of spread out now. So so the QC is just sort of, it's gone international.
And it must be about time for a reunion, because the QC in New Zealand is about the only place where they could draw a crowd.
Oh, come on, Adam. Definitely, mate. Definitely, I think we do definitely need a reunion, and hopefully when the borders start opening up, we're going to sort of arrange something and maybe do one more last hit.
Just as long as Jason Love's not the pre-act, we'll never hear the end of it. Anyhow, family is such an important theme at Wainuiomata. And 2014, you made the Jubilee Cup final, and again in 2019. What are some of the other reasons, and who are some of the other personalities that have helped turn Wainuiomata into a very competitive senior force?
I think there's a lot of people that have contributed to our success, or, you know, being able to compete with clubs like Marist and OBU and the Norths and, or some of those clubs that are the good clubs that we're trying to compete with. And yeah, I guess in the past 4 years, Dan Ferrani and Dan Smith have done a huge and incredible job in regards to where we hit in those years. Obviously, 2014 with Justin Wilson coming on board that first time as well. He's definitely had a big contribution in our club, and particularly in those 3 seasons. And then obviously Dan Ferrani's been taking the boys in the last 4 years and pretty much has taken us to every final, I believe. And I have a huge respect for Dan Ferrani. and also Smitty as well for their knowledge in the game and in terms of coming up with new strategy and game plan of what we need. Ferrani's a very smart man. He's got a lot of knowledge, we'll surely miss him, obviously, when he moves on end of this year. But I think he's done a lot for the club. He's putting people in the right places. He's teaching the right thing. He's saying the right stuff in terms of our game plan that we need to execute. So, and also like lately we've had, obviously Earl being a director of rugby Wainui now, has also had a huge contribution in our club. He's we all know what Earl can do and his knowledge in rugby. So he's obviously added in a few more of that. And then the guys like Peter and guys like TJ, those are the guys that sort of have come on and, big knowledge in the game as well and play the game really well. And they've sort of also helped to develop the young guys that are coming through and have a put in as well. So, we got Sam Smith, obviously a huge asset in the last 2-3 years for us. The challenge for us is obviously getting some young players, getting young players up, because like myself and guys like Greg and Dion, the older lot, like we haven't got many years left. And we're trying to nurture the young guys and are trying to attract some young guys, especially in our own community. But if anyone they want to come and play for Wainui, there's young, that's keen to make a name for themselves and play for a very proud club. That's the challenge for us and trying to get those young guys. So now that we've got guys like that, we've got Sam at the moment, sort of guys that we got. He's obviously a very handy and having an outstanding season. And then also young guys like Josiah, a young prop, young guy like Sane, Lou, who's a hooker. So those guys there now, they're going to take this team forward for us because we're not going to be there for, who knows? I don't know how long I can go for, but we definitely need some young guys to come through for Wainui. So, lately as well, Ladi himself, he's sort of put his hand up. He's come along and sort of taught us a lot of things about our scrumming, about our line out and our set pieces. So I think there's a lot of people that have definitely contributed to our success in the last 10 or 11 years. And I think, and I'm a true believer that at some stage we will be able to get that cup at some stage. I know that we will. And if we keep doing what we're doing and believe in our system and our process, we'll be able to get where we need to and achieve those goals.
The notable absence in that wonderful monologue was yourself. Now, you've been playing at the club for over a decade. You've been promoted from the backs to the forwards. Let's talk about your game and how you've evolved as a player.
Oh, yeah, it's got a pretty funny journey. I've started from the wing. Obviously, I was always a winger. And then obviously had the opportunity to move in the midfield and learn the midfield, how to play in the midfield. And moving second five, and then obviously coming to the last 3 years, I was promoted to number 8. Look, the older you get, the slower you are, and I guess you just got to adapt with the young guys that were coming through. I had no chance of being able to hold my position in the back line, so and obviously being a slow winger, so I've just sort of moved into the forwards and really learn. I was always involved in the forwards anyway. I quite like to be involved in the collision, the contact. Coming in from the wing, so I thought I'll give it a crack in regards to playing number 8 and 6. And I think the challenge when I first came in for me was definitely the scrumming and the lineouts. I think getting around the field was a lot easier once I sort of learned. I remember my first game playing in the forwards of preseason, I was hitting every ruck, and within 10 minutes, I was exhausted and I said, this is silly. But, so learning how to do lineouts, the lifting, and obviously I don't jump. So I'm more of a lifter and learning the lifting, the techniques, things like that involved in the maul, and also been involved in the scrumming as well. There's a lot of process. And I remember when I first came in, my proper game in the forwards, and JV or Justin Barr turned around to me and he said, welcome to the engine room. And that's stuck with me ever since been coming into the forwards. And I really enjoy playing in the forwards. As I said, I really love the contact. and been getting the ball in my hand. It's early on is what I always trying to do, to carry as early as I can. Sometimes if I don't touch the ball in the first 3 minutes or 4 minutes, by the time I touch it, I'll probably drop it. So I always trying to get the ball in my hand early, get a good carry in, and then we're into it.
So a few weeks ago, you were behind at Norths at half time, and you staged an almighty comeback to win right on full time against Northern United. Tell us about that game.
Oh, it was huge. I think that game was very important for our season, and we knew that as we come in, and obviously having Peter on that game was a massive advantage for us. He broke the line with every time he touched the ball, and so that was a huge advantage for us. But as you know, what North is like, they just keep coming, and there were a lot of errors in our defense at times, and so we were able to stuck at it and be able to come away with the victory that we needed. And I remember, obviously, I came out, I was injured at the time, I came off, and our line out wasn't really going really well at the time, and it was the last, literally the time was over. And I really enjoyed how Greg really packed himself and the boys to go for the line out at that time. We knew we had to go for a drive. We've been doing scrumming, in the last 10 minutes, scrumming. Our scrumming was not going very well as well. And so they just backed themselves, kicked the ball out in the corner. And as you know, they got Bevan up and Ferrani was in there. They just didn't expect it. And so, so take my hat off to Greg and his huge leadership in our team, being able to identify those moments in the game. And that's what we really spoke about early on in the season, is to be able to identify those moments in the game that could change the game. And I think for that game in particular, it was a moment that we needed to convert it and change our season really. And that game was huge. So, Ferrani got in there and he was, the ball didn't even stop. Once he got in there, it went on and scored a try. And it was a huge celebration with the boys. It changed our season for us because we needed to beat one of those top teams to be able to try to get into the top 8. And sort of we missed out with the Hart game. We missed out early on with Oris. So some of those games we needed to get it on to win those big games to be able to stay with the pack. So be able to convert that and to win that game against North was massive for us. And, now, having those last 3 games and 3 in a row, it's, we're going the right way. And I think we continue to go that way. We hopefully be in the top 8 and game on again.
Well, you're 8th on the table at the moment. There's 4 rounds to go. You've got Yeovil this Saturday, followed by Marist St. Pat's at home, Parramatta Plymouton, and your fiercest rivals, Petone. There is a real possibility that Wainuiomata could qualify for the top 6 of the Jubilee Cup. That would be impressive.
Yeah, I mean, that's our goal. That's definitely our goal at the moment is to try and now that we're in the top 8 and that we hope that we're trying to hopefully preach and get in through to the top 6, get into the 6. So yeah, we've got, still, I think we're still fairly high games with us for some reason when we play guys like, Johnsonville and Parramatta, our games drop as well. So there's a huge focus for us in order to try and put these guys away early, because those are the teams that can pull upset easily. They got nothing to lose, and so if we don't, we lose focus, we won't be able to, convert those games. So yeah, Marist will be a big game for us. I mean, one of the top team in the competition. Definitely looking forward to that, and of course the Villager. We love playing those guys, and I think they haven't beaten us in the first round for the last 10 years. So hopefully I can keep that. I can keep that record. So that's something to challenge ourselves on.
And who could ever forget the ending last year? I want you to describe your involvement in the Tremu try, and it'd be remiss not to mention Porneki, who were your opponents on Saturday. Tell us about the game and some of the mighty struggles with Porneki over the years. Matt Jacobs kicked from halfway to put you in the Jubilee Cup semi-finals. Porneki, Wainuiomata, similar clubs in terms of the way they play and their characteristics. That's a special rivalry and a great opponent to share your 75th with.
Oh, it's huge. Porneki, obviously we play for the Hakarai Cup, and the Hakarai family is a big Wainui family here, and obviously they have involvement over there as well. So, yeah, in the past years, as you said, we're definitely a similar club. We sort of similar personality in terms of players that we have on the field as well. So it's always fun coming against Poneke. They're a really good forward back. They got some, elusive backs as well, and similar to us the way we play. And so I really enjoy playing against those guys. On field we sort of hate each other, but we love, off the field having a beer and enjoying each other's company. But yeah, it's a massive worry with Poneke. So I mean, they are now sort of going really well at the moment as well. And I guess, and that was one of the reasons that we needed to put them away this week, so that they are not able to chase us in that top 8, because I think it was sort of out of us that we were sort of going for that last position with Upper Hutt as well. So it was important that we put them away last week, and so just to create that bit of a buffer for us moving into the last 4 games.
Well, Teru, it's been fantastic having you on the Huddy Hui tonight. Go well this Saturday against Johnsonville, and for the remaining few rounds left in the Swindale Shield.
It's a pleasure to be here, Adam and Brad. Thank you very much for having me. Really enjoying having a chat with you guys. And by the way, so you guys shout me a beer because I didn't stay behind with the shower crew and have a beer tonight training. So I'll make sure I'll find you guys next time you're in Anui.
Well, we'll owe that debt to you.
I look forward to it. Thanks, Teru. All the best.
Thank you, Teru. All the best.
Awesome. Thank you very much, guys. Take care.
Take care. Adam, Teru, teammate, a fantastic legend of the Wainuiomata Rugby Club, a passionate man, a good family man, and that interview there tonight really does showcase the quality of the man.
He's a very fine guy, Teru teammate, very modest about his own playing achievements as well, one of the hardest hitters in the competition. He migrated from second 5'8" to number 8 and then blind side. He's even played lock when Wainuiomata have been short of jumpers. He commands a lot of respect, and he has a warmth to his character which draws you in. He explains things very well, and he's a great mentor and fine player, Teru Time.
And also when you go to Wainuiomata, as a referee, it's a tough place to referee. As a player, as the opposition, it's a tough place to play, but they are one of the most hospitable people at the aftermatch.
Well, they're absolutely unbelievable at Wainuiomata. I referenced that Matthew Jacobs penalty kick in 2016 to get Wainuiomata into the semi-finals of the Jubilee Cup. I had the good fortune of describing that game on Te Puka o Te Ika, and as the final scrum was packed down, Wainuiomata was so confident of securing the ball, clearing it and winning the game that a spectator offered me a beer live on air. Now, I was the next door neighbour of Keith Gwynn for 20 years, and he told me that he's never been offered a beer on air by a spectator. So that's one of the most proudest moments of my feeble broadcasting career.
Well, this weekend, Adam, there is a few more celebrations around the country. You're not on the radio or any games here in Wellington this weekend. You're paying a visit out to the Wairarapa. To
Greytown, the book you can see on the desk there. And Greytown is having a celebration of their club, founded in 1876. They actually won the Jubilee Cup in 1883, or at least they think they did. They're engraved on the trophy, and it's quite a story in regards to how they appeared on the Wellington Senior Championship prize. So on Saturday, I've been kindly invited over to Greytown to share that story, and I'll convey that experience next week, perhaps on the Hui. It's rather secretive at the moment because the 1883 Wellington Senior Club season was perhaps one of the most interesting and controversial ever.
And we'll look forward to Adam talking about that next week. At women's rugby in the weekend, Adam, Alicia Letiainga scored her 150th try, but believe it or not, Oriental Rongotai women had a loss.
They did. This is a hugely significant result in the women's competition. Northern United, who lost the final last year by 64-12, had been beaten twice by Auries already this season, have lost for the first time in 18 matches, 1,007 points they scored in those games, and they were stunned by Norse, 34-24. Aisha Letiainga, 3 tries, moved into halfback in the second half, but they were beaten by Norse, who are a perennial contender, of course, and really announced their arrival as a possible threat to Ori's crown this season. Sunita Lavave, the Black Fern and Wellington Pride veteran in very fine form, and Norse, who at one stage this season actually played Ori's and only had 16 players available, starting to accumulate more depth through injury recovery, through new arrivals at the club, and making a serious tilt at Ori's supremacy. So interesting situation in the women's competition at the moment. The other two interesting things happening in the women's competition, Brad, is the continued good form of Parramatta Plimerton, who reassembled their team this year, and also Maris St Pat's doing some good things in that grade.
They certainly are, and it's good to see a few upsets or two in the women's grade. Well, this weekend is club rugby, 4 rounds to go in the Swindale Shield. Very soon we'll see who the top 6 will be. I reckon that won't be determined until round 6. But this Saturday on Huddy Sports and on Sideline.live, we are bringing you St Bernard's versus St Patrick's College Wellington. Of course, St Bernard's last week had a narrow loss to Mana, and St Pat's Town, they're coming off a rather low-key performance against Wellington College.
Low-key. Wellington College rather low-key at the moment. They're not letting our cameras in on Wednesday. Let's put a remedy to that. Wellington College, St Pat Silverstream, that's going to be a very fine game on Wednesday, the big traditional match. And St Bernard's last week tipped over by Mana, so some unpredictable results in Premier 1 rugby. Watch Brad's fine broadcast on Saturday on Sideline. That'll be a ripping game.
And that's at 2:30 p.m. And it's hopefully going to be a cracking day of rugby this Saturday in the Wellington region and even in the Wairarapa where Adam is. So that's the Huddy Hui for tonight. Ciao for now.